Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Mission UGC Net Home Science. So, today this is the continuation of the previous video. So, today we will going to discuss the food constituents and their sources. So there are two sources, that is the vegetable food product and animal food product. So, in the vegetable food product, it includes the grains, fruits, vegetable, etc. And in the animal food product, it includes the milk, ghee, meat, fish, egg, etc. So, so basically, we all know that there are major five main groups of Indian food. So, first is milk and milk product. So, it is a source of protein and calcium. Second is fruits like orange, tomato, mango, papaya, etc. And it is rich in vitamins and mineral salt. Next is vegetables like brinjal, ladyfinger, gourd, cucumber, etc. It is rich in vitamins and mineral salt. Then cereal and cereal product, grain, rice, wheat, barley, millet, etc. It is rich in carbohydrate and vitamin B and also some protein. And the last main group is fats and oil, which include butter, ghee, vegetable oil, sugar, jaggery, etc. And it is rich in fat, vitamin A and carbohydrates. So this is the next table in which major constituents and their sources both expensive and cheap. So if we talk about the carbohydrate constituent, so carbohydrate present in expensive sources also, or as well as cheap sources also. So the expensive sources of the carbohydrate is wheat, rice, sugar, honey, and the cheap sources are gram, barley, millet, jaggery, pulses, etc. Similarly for protein, fat, mineral salt, and vitamin. Vegetable food, first is cereals. So it include wheat, rice, maize, corn, millet, barley, oat, jowar. So in wheat, so basically the wheat, so it is the main food of the majority of Indians. It contains vitamins A and vitamin B. It has approximately, the protein value is 13%, carbohydrate 71, mineral salt 2.25, and fat is 2.27. So we all know that it is advisable eat the wheat flour along with the bran. Should not be removed the bran content, because bran consists of vitamin B and other food constituents which are important for our health. So that therefore we should not remove the bran after the wheat is ground. So if you move toward the part of wheat, so there are basically the various parts like bran. Bran is the outermost covering and it is rich in mineral and some vitamin. Alluron layer, it is below the bran. So it is rich in protein, phosphorus, thiamine, starch, etc. And then is endosperm. It is mostly the starchy part. Germ is also called the embryo. That's it. Then second is rice. So rice, it has approximately 78.8% carbohydrate. It has 6.8% protein, 1.4% fat. Iron is 3.6 mg. Then rice, there are various form of rice present: unshelled rice, parboiled rice, milled rice, converted rice. Then third is maize or corn. So in India, maize is commonly used as bhutta, popcorn. In winter, it is used as chapati, but it lacks the vitamin like vitamin B3, that is uh, uh, niacin, which leads to the deficiency called pellagra. Then there are various form of maize or corn, like degerminated flour, corn germ oil, popcorn, cornstarch, hominigrates, cornflake, etc. Then in millet, so millet, it is abundant in protein and carbohydrate as well as the mineral content like calcium, iron, etc. So the protein content varies from 6 to 9%. There are various type of millet present like pearl millet, kafir millet, Italian millet, etc. In barley, so as compared to wheat, barley is very light and easy to digest. It has approximately 9 to 12% of protein. It is basically the poor source of calcium, and it is good source of thiamine, niacin, pantothenic acid, pyridoxine, and fair source of riboflavin. Then oats. So oat is good source of thiamine, pyridoxine, pantothenic acid. Protein content in the oat is ranges from the 12 to 18%. Then jowar, then bajra, then jai, ragi, etc. So next, our subgroup is pulses after cereal under the vegetable food constituents. So in the pulses, we all know that there is whole legume, dal. Dal is basically the dehusked split legume. Then legume flour. So it is basically prepared by grinding of the dal in the flour mill. Then germination. So basically we all know that the advantage of germination is to increase the nutritive value, decrease the cooking time, and good in taste. Then fermentation also help in enhancing the digestibility, nutritive value, and palatability, and also helps in increasing the vitamin B and C values. Then there are various toxic factors present in legume, so it should be eliminated during cooking, fermentation, germination. Various methods are there to remove the or to reduce the toxic factors in the legumes. So if these are classified as trypsin inhibitor, heme glutathione growth inhibitors, other toxic factors, goitrogenic factors, cyanogenic glucoside, saponins, lethyrogens, favism, and tannins. Then next category is vegetables. So in vegetable, so first is the classification of vegetables. Like leafy vegetable include the spinach, methi, turnip leaves, etc. Fruits include cucumber, tomato, brinjal, etc. Flower include cauliflower, banana leaves. Root include radish, turnip, carrot. Tuber include potato, arbi, peanut, etc. Bulb, onion, garlic. Seed, example is peas, lobia, etc. And fungus is, we all know that is the mushroom. So next is fruits. So fruit, they are divided into two groups, that is food fruits and flavor fruits. So in food fruits, these are those fruits which provide the digestive element for our body, that is banana, grapes, mango, etc. So in this type of fruit, the carbohydrate is present in the form of sugar. So fruit sugar is called glucose. This get easily digested, and these fruits are strengthening. And next group is flavor fruit. So in flavor fruit, those fruits which do not have any nutritional element, but they used for sweetness as well as juices. Example is orange, mossami, pomegranate, etc. They have a significant quantity of vitamin A, B, C, etc. So other way of classification of the fruits are POUs. POUs include apple, nashpati, seed fruit, berry, lychee, mango, citrus fruit like lemon, grape, amla. Others like include banana, watermelon, guava, papaya, etc. So next group is milk and milk products. So we all know that milk is complete food for us. All the constituent of a balanced diet is present in it. So the protein content is 3.5%, and the protein present in milk is in the form of carcinogen. So the potassium, phosphorus, calcium content in milk is approximately 7%. Beside magnesium, sodium, iodine are present in small quantity. So the amino acid of milk protein is similar to the amino acid of our body. Therefore, its absorption starts as soon as it reaches the stomach. And the fat content of milk is 3.5 to 5%, and it is present in the form of emulsion. milk obtained from different animals have different fat content, and on the basis of fat content we generally classify the milk as whole milk, tone milk, double tone milk, skim milk, etc., based on the fat and the SNF, that is the solid not fat content. Carbohydrate content in milk is 4.5% and it is present in the form of lactose. Lactose is also known as the milk sugar, and this sugar content is highest in mother's milk. So vitamin A, B, D are also present in significant quantities in milk, and vitamin C is slightly less quantities present in milk. For this reason, milk has been referred to as the complete food. So cow's milk and goat milk can be made slightly thinner for infants. Buffalo milk is very thick and not easily digested. So mineral salts. So mineral salt in 1 liter of milk as follows: present is calcium 1.162, phosphorus, iron, and sodium. So this is the table which include the composition of milk and its amount present in the milk. Then next is milk products. So milk product is first is buttermilk. So buttermilk, the liquid substance left after removing the butter from churned curd, is called buttermilk. It is more easily digested than either curd or milk and used for stomach disorder basically. So next is butter. So butter is high amount content of fat contains, and it has vitamin A also, and all the salt present in milk are also present in it. So next is ghee. So ghee, we also known as clarified butter. It is prepared by heating the butter. It is 100% fat. Then cheese. Then after that condensed milk. Condensed milk is prepared by continuous heating of milk. Then skim milk. Skim milk, we all know that negligible amount of fat content is present and vitamin A as well as. And then tone milk. Tone milk have the fat content of 3% and solid not fat, that is the SNF content, is 8.5%. Then evaporated milk. Evaporated milk is subjected to sterilization at 240 to 245 degree Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. Dried milk. Dried milk is prepared basically from roller or drum drying. Its solubility is 85%. Then it is also prepared by spray drying, which has a solubility about 98%. Then skim milk powder, it has 35% protein. Enzyme. So enzymes, we all know that it is the biological catalyst and which activate the rate of reaction. So there are many type of enzymes are present in milk, which are as follows, like lipases. Lipases is used for the decomposition of fat. Galactases for separating lactose. Then proteases for the separation of protein. Amylases, starch hydrolysis reaction. Catalases for separation of hydrogen peroxide. Lactase for segregating the milk sugar. Phosphate for separating the phosphoric molecule, and peroxidase for break down the peroxide. So that's it. Thank you for your patience.